I'm Amanda Popken, partner at ASH+LIME Strategies, and I want to tell you a little bit about monetizing lean urbanism. It's a movement that you might know a little bit about, but I want to kind of give you the framework that we've taken into creating our business and maybe help you kind of imagine where you might bring your business if you're thinking of doing this as a professional. So we're taking the perspective that this is creating economic value. A lot of our clients are cities. So in their terms, they want to increase their property tax and their sales tax. That's where they get their money that they're supposed to use to fix up old infrastructure and provide city services, both of which are constantly getting more expensive. So if you know anything about the strong towns argument that Chuck Marone's given, that cities typically have this growth Ponzi scheme where they're constantly growing because they're bringing in new land, they're doing new developments, but once a suburb has been built out and it's surrounded by other development, how are you getting that return on investment to continue fixing your infrastructure and giving those services to your residents? So that's really the bottom line for us. That's how we're framing it. But it's more than just the infrastructure. It's about creating the social capital, about connecting people to their neighborhoods. And that creates the stable value and the return on investment that these communities really need. It's about creating resilient neighborhoods. The infrastructure, the types of places that we're designing give them opportunities for personal exchanges to get to know the small business owners and really feel connected. And the spontaneous conversations that help you get to know your neighbors and make it start feeling like a neighborhood that you belong to, and then you become personally invested. So it's a combination between the design and then the events, the programming, the marketing that really sets it as a place. In my mind, social capital is that which makes everything else in life worth it. I wasn't supposed to have bullets there, but in my mind, that really encapsulates giving people the time and money to spend on the people, places, and things that they love. So that's really our bottom line focus. We've learned a couple of key points from tactical urbanism that temporary demonstrations can ease the discomfort of change, help people see how policies and road diets can really impact their quality of life. We've also learned that small investments, getting those details right, are a lot more effective than putting in $1 million performance hall that attracts 1,500 people every night and they don't have any impact on the surrounding neighborhoods because they drive into the parking lot and then they go back home. So it's those little details of these projects that matter more than big investments. We've also learned that it's the process of the tactical urbanism projects that makes people excited about their community. They start to see the vision and they start connecting with their neighbors. There can be no silos in this. We've really got to take a comprehensive approach to economic development, planning, architecture, engineering, and transportation. So we're trying to take this broad perspective on a lot of issues that affect these spaces individually, uniquely to that place. So we try to use a toolbox rather than one tool for every situation because they're all so uniquely different in what's working and what's not working. So these are a few of our tools that we've identified. Using street design to affect the pedestrian realm, but also include multi-modes of transportation. Using connectivity to connect with the neighborhood, surrounding transportation hubs or nearby assets. Using low-budget improvements, just cleaning up, planting native perennials that really don't need a lot of maintenance, painting crosswalks, simple things like that. Facade improvements, make it feel more safe, make it feel like a place that people care about. Public art both involves the locals and beautifies the area. Pop-ups, creating destination retail that draws people in, and also events that draw people in. Maybe it's unique somehow to the history of the area and kind of creates that sense of place. Also people places just to chillax and people watch, and then interactive placemaking to keep you there and give you something to do while you're lingering, waiting to meet a friend. The key for me is the passionate stakeholders, though, because you can't do this alone. It's not about doing it alone. You need to involve the community and find the people who are invested in making change. So these aren't necessarily new ideas. If you've been following the tactical urbanism movement, you know this is basically rethinking whose responsibility is this, who's taking this on, and how, where's the money coming from? And I really want to share this with you guys because we each need to be doing this in our own community. So these are some of our prospective clients that we've identified: cities, There's a lot of different departments. PIDs, or BIDs, Business Improvement Districts, they can use their money on a lot of different things, which is really cool. And then major stakeholders, people invested in improving the area around their business. Even developers doing new construction. Sometimes we find that new construction needs a little funk and needs that community place. And foundations that want to offer grants for projects that you're doing. To begin with, just work with stakeholders, identifying the simplest, cheapest, low-hanging fruit, and then also keep in mind the bigger picture and how those demonstrations are going to realize the bigger changes that need to happen. Make sure you have a diverse team, and then, you know, we've found a nice complement between adding in the hard costs and then using kind of an hourly rate to make it as professionals in this field, this evolving field. And then really it's about using this network of people that we're meeting in this conference to help find new clients, but also build your team. And it really works best in places where there's at least one prominent stakeholder. If you've got a whole community of people that are just kind of looking at you like you're crazy, you're going to have a lot of trouble. And market it as economic development, because people don't really know what urbanism is, normal people. So property values, sales tax, those are things that speak to people. Thank you.
Excellent.